First, you might be asking yourself, why would you even need to remove your motor in the first place? Well, if you have a leaking oil pan gasket on the 1.6 or the 1.8, you either one have to remove the subframe and drop it down while supporting your car in the air and try to seal your oil pan gasket from the bottom of the car while straddling this. And let me show you. This is the oil pan gasket on the 1.6 Miata, and this is where the subframe crosses over. And if I try to change the oil pan gasket while leaving this in the car, I don't have faith that I'll be able to make the proper seal that it needs to have in order to prevent all the oil from leaking out of this car. However, need to replace the rear main seal, the crankshaft seal, the whole front end timing belt, water pump kit, valve cover gasket, and doing all of this outside of the car is just going to be so much easier for me, along with cleaning all of this old oil off and just the accessibility overall. Um, I'm going to be wrapping the headers in exhaust wrap, and we're going to be putting new coolant lines on, and those are really pesky to get to while the motor is still in the car. So stay tuned and consider liking and subscribing to help trigger the algorithm. I'm also raffling this car off. October 1st is the deadline to get entered. I'm going to start with removing this homemade intake that whoever had this car before me put it on. So don't come after me in the comments asking me what the heck this is, because I'm wondering the same thing. I mean, I think they just wrapped it in electrical tape. Look at this. I thought this was okay. What the f even is this? I don't know. It's trash. That's no more. Look how loose this thing is. Whoa, whoa. Vacuum line off. Taking this throttle cable out. Yeah. Alright, we got the camera oil sensor. Oh my god, bro. Now, before removing any coolant line or power steering line, I do recommend you have a bucket ready, as they're going to leak everywhere and it'll just save on cleanup later. Now, one thing you're not going to see in this video is removing the bell housing bolts from the transmission, because we removed the transmission prior to this video. Also, another trick, stuff a rag in the side of the block to prevent any coolant from leaking out. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Yeah. There it is. I'm almost got this thing fully pulled out of here. Yeah, I've got everything disconnected for the most part. Yeah, go ahead. Power steering is disconnected. Now, right after this clip, the camera overheated and I wasn't able to record removing the radiator, but it was just two 12mm and then just lifting straight up on it. Now, for the motor removal, I needed my friend to push back towards the firewall so the motor mounts wouldn't bind up on the subframe, and then I just hoisted up the motor slowly and he just kept it from bouncing around inside the engine bay and it came right out. Now, in my opinion, it's always worth going the extra mile and wrapping the electronics. You can choose to not do that, but I always do. Me and my buddy, we tag teamed this and we detailed the entire engine bay using Purple Power and Dawn combination solution in this little 3-gallon bucket, and we were just both like kind of going at it. It took us a couple hours, but it's definitely worth it at the end of the day, because when you're going to reinstall a brand new, clean, refreshed motor, it's not going to leave your greasy old fingerprints all over it, and you're not going to have to go through and wipe everything off because, well, you just contaminated everything. So at the end of the day, it's completely up to you, but I definitely think it is worth doing it, and why not? This is how it came out after we spent about 2 hours on degreasing the entire engine bay. Because I mean, it was probably about a quarter inch to a half inch thick in some places, as it has been building up and leaking out over the years.